It's not like the olden days where, we're stay-at-home moms and we couldn't talk and stuff. Now I think living in Los Angeles and majority of everybody works, the women also work, we need to feel that we're loved and we're respected. And I think we need to teach that to our kids, that just because we're women and we're moms and wives, that we do need to respect ourselves. And that's what we need to teach our kids, to respect themselves and be confident.
And we're very sensitive to culture. We're not trying to erase culture. We're trying to just enhance your culture, and then use what's beautiful about the culture to reinforce the love and respect, and that you take care of things that are precious. And so if you're not being taken care of that way, that somebody has to speak up for you, and sometimes that's you. And so when we educate and we empower and we help to transform some ideas, it becomes contagious. Because I'll share with my friends if I see my friend going through that. Then that friend will share with somebody else. And so that's kind of what I think is happening, is that we're getting more positive outcomes here. We're having more people feeling more empowered, that they want to share that good feeling. We don't share bad feelings. We don't want to share that, but the good feelings gets contagious. And so
I'm sure you have a lot of success stories also.
We do have a lot of success stories. We do have some challenging stories, but they're stories nonetheless, and they're being told. And that's the important thing, is to get the information out there. I wish that we had 100% success rate. We don't, but that's part of the process. Women, they stay in abusive relationships for a long time for a variety of reasons.
I think the number one is because they're used to it.
Sometimes it depends. But
two is love.
Right. I think that the reason why people stay is because they don't know what else is out there. And because it's hard. It's hard. You come from another country. You don't know the rules here. You've been taught something else by your abuser. You're told that you can't make it, and so, the statistic is that women will go back 7 to 9 times, and that's because they are trying it. You try it. It's hard. It's easier to go back, and so with abuse, you build a tolerance. I can handle this. I can handle the name calling. And when you build that tolerance, then it has to go up to another level. And sometimes it does. So when you're out in the world on your own and you can't get a job, and the community is not supportive, and your family is not supportive, and you don't know where to go, you don't have a place to live, there's no job opportunities, then what looks better?
Exactly.
To go back. And that's why, we have a responsibility as a community, like this organization has, to make sure that we empower them with what we can. We provide life skill classes here too. So, and we link you to services where you can go make a resume, where you can go apply.
Oh, that's wonderful.
One of our goals for this year is to bring in jobs. Who's going to work with us? Who has jobs opening? Who can help us get them some money so that we can establish them? We can get them a place to go. So we're working with Glendale City to help us with that, with the housing programs. We are working with different employers to see what we can do. Or we have a volunteer force who's going to start to help us build our resources and things like that. So if we want to help, it really is a program where everybody has to get involved, the community as well, and speak up against these things and not keep it taboo anymore, because domestic violence is a private matter.
It is.
And we need to speak about it, and we need to be involved. And,
well, domestic violence is not just, people think that domestic violence is hitting, spank, just the physical evidence of domestic violence, but it really isn't.
Right.
It could be not just the physical, but it could be the emotional, which I think impacts a little bit more on
There's
somebody.
a variety of ways to be in domestic violence, and when we talk about domestic violence, we like to split that. In one of our classes, we split it. So a lot of times we think domestic violence is just partners, an intimate relationship. Sometimes it's the parents and the child, and sometimes it's the wife against the husband, and sometimes it's the sibling to another sibling.
Right.
So we think about that, and then when we think about violence, we think about impact. Sometimes it's a physical impact, and sometimes it's a emotional impact. It's what does it do to you to change you. And a lot of the stories that we hear is, you didn't used to be this way. I was another way. I used to be self-sufficient. Now I'm dependent on somebody else. And so we really want to think of the power and control. When somebody else has power and control over who you are, who you become, what you do, how you feel, that's an impact. It's a violent impact. And so that's what we see domestic violence. You don't need to get hit anymore.
That's true.
threats are enough. The idea that you could
Or
be
just putting
is
someone
enough.
down. If,
Yes.
no matter how much
Mhm.
I have known people that, the husband or the significant other basically would put down,
Yeah.
and at one point that person tends to believe it because
Yeah.
here it's somebody that they love,
Uh-huh.
and if they keep on saying it,
Yeah.
you just eventually believe in it. You
It's
believe
easier
it.
to believe and to continue to fight it. And that's one of the things that we have a class on, myths and realities. And what's a myth in your life and what's the reality? Because you tend to believe the lies that nobody wants you, that I'm the only one that wants you. You're not going to do anything better than me. You can't do anything without me. You're not capable. Nobody wants to hire you. No one's going to give you nothing. I'm going to take your children. You don't have any rights here. All that, they're all lies. And so once we kind of take that blindfold off and we show them this is something else, potentially then there's a change there. But the education has to come out. We have to be able to do that. And the fear of reporting, you just have to call. And we have to work with also our law enforcement to help with that. Because
That's very true.
we have to help them understand what happens to the victim when you show up. A lot of times they think that they show up and everything should be okay. But we always talk about the women or victims.
Well, women also feel that too, to be honest with you. The women obviously automatically just assume that, okay, if the police comes, the aggressor is going to be threatened or is going to change automatically. And it does not resolve your problems.
Right.
It will not resolve your problems.
Right.
And coming to programs such as the YWCA, which I am very thankful that you are in the city of Glendale, and other residents, I believe, from other cities are welcome to come also, I believe, from Burbank or
Yes, we service it all over.
Very interesting subject for me, and I'm sure for all our viewers. Is there a number that anybody would be able to call to get information, first of all, or to speak with you directly?
Yes, there is. We have an emergency hotline number they can call and get immediate counseling and ask questions about, no questions asked. It's 888-999-7511. And you can call or you should get a volunteer counselor all over the phone, and then you can make your questions.
No, is this a 24-hour number?
It's a 24-hour network, so somebody's available to speak to at any time. If you're on the street, you can call 211. And you can have them connect you to one of the services that we have as well. So we have a good connection with them as well. So either phone number works to get to us.
Let's have the number again. 1-800?
It's 888-999-7511.
Or 211.
Or call 211 and ask them to connect you to the YWCA.
And the YWCA, for all those that don't know, it's right across Whole Foods. It's located on the corner of Glendale Boulevard and Lexington. And the address here is?
735 East Lexington Drive.
Well, everybody who I've met at YWCA has a lot of compassion.
Yes.
And you all seem very dedicated.
We are.
And to put that kind of time and effort and I know you have numerous volunteers and you have a wonderful staff. I mean, just looking at your program, it's very enriching, and you need compassion to this kind of a thing because it is a very sticky situation. It's a delicate situation. It's not that easy for everyone just to go up and say, oh, you know what, hi, how are you? My husband just hit me. There's a lot of pride, which is understandable. But knowledge, like you said, is something that, an awareness is something that we all need. And there is no reason that a woman should be treated differently or without, with no respect.
Right. And we're willing to come out and speak to anybody that wants us to come out. So if you have a school that wants to come and hear us, or you want us to go to your local church, or you have a group meeting that you want us to come and speak about, we're willing to do that. So we're willing to get the word out and help and provide the services and let you know where you can access the services. So we're willing to work with the community and do that.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very, very happy that you joined us today and you were part of the show. And I know that, and I hope that those women that feel that maybe they just need some information or talk to someone, it is confidential. And we would like domestic violence to stop and for everyone to have a healthy relationship, because a woman plays a very big role in a family, in a marriage, and with kids.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you're not happy
Right.
within yourself, you're not going to be a good wife, and you
Right.
won't be a good mother.
And domestic violence doesn't discriminate. So it can also be the other way around. It
Exactly.
can also be that the husband is the victim in the situation. It can also be the children are the victim in the situation. So domestic violence is no longer what we
Just
saw
the
years
women,
ago.
right.
It's just women. So anybody who needs help, just let us know.
Well, thank you very much for
Oh,
being
you're
a part of
welcome.
the show, and I definitely will be, coming back, because I know you have numerous programs
Yeah.
that YWCA offers,
Yes.
and it's wonderful. So thank you.